Welcome back, everyone, to episode 20 of Orlando Out of Context. I'm Brian.
I'm Stephanie.
Why are you laughing like that?
Because it sounded so nice and so professional.
Oh, okay.
And so forceful. With pep.
So please follow us on Instagram at Orlando Out of Context. Visit us at orlandooutofcontext.com and listen and subscribe. I always have a problem saying subscribe. On iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play. So welcome to episode 20. Let me do a breakdown here of what we're going to talk about, because we have a decent
we have a full
list.
menu today. Mostly fatties out of context today. A lot of food talk, but that's okay. So Orlando Flea is something that we're going to talk about, which I don't think that we talked about it on the podcast before. We did that before I went to Europe, so it's been maybe 2 months since we were there, maybe a month and a half, 2 months. Yeah, I think it was more like a month and a half.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago.
It really wasn't. But there's another one coming up. So if you missed out on the first Orlando Flea, which is put on by the Daily City, you'll want to catch the one coming up. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And then we'll talk about Briarpatch, which is kind of an Orlando institution. Do you know that they've been open since 1980?
No.
Yeah. Which is in Winter Park. And then we'll talk about two new restaurants. We'll talk about the Golden Pod, which is on International Drive. And then we'll talk about Steak on Fire, which is a Brazilian, I would call it, fusion. And I would kind of call it quick service, but not quite quick service. You basically order at the counter, but they bring it to the table, and it was good.
Delicious.
So stay tuned, definitely, for Steak on Fire and the Golden Pod. Both offering delicious treats, and it's great to have new options, and it seems like there's new places coming up all the time.
We always argue. I mean, not argue, but when we want to go out to eat, we're like, I don't know, where do you want to go? I don't know, where do you want to go? And we're like, give me 4 choices and then I'll choose. So it's good to keep a little list maybe of some restaurants that you want in those moments where you don't know what you want, you can't choose, and you want to try something new. That way you have it on hand and you're ready to go. Definitely.
I agree. So we went to the Golden Pod and Steak on Fire on the same day, and in between...
It was bad planning.
Yeah, kind of bad planning, but we were invited on Saturday specifically to the Golden Pod, and then we kind of been putting Steak on Fire on the back burner. You kind of get it. Yeah. And so we wanted to make sure that we headed over to Steak on Fire to check it out.
We already talked to Bruno over at Steak on Fire and committed to a day, and then after the fact, the Golden Pod invited us, so we had to do a double header.
Yeah, so we visited 2 places in one day, but it was all right because.
And the problem was that they were both so delicious.
They were both very good, but in between them, we wanted to burn off some of the calories at least in order to make room.
Get hungry again.
So we decided, which was a poor decision, to head over, because I had kind of mentioned, let's go to maybe the outlets in between, because the international outlets are really close. Really bad choice. Stephanie was, we were driving in her car, and it was a bad choice. First of all, it was a Saturday, but
a bad video game. I mean, I'm telling you, people are going in they're driving backwards 20 miles an hour because they
trying to get a spot.
Somebody that got into the car, so they're immediately just chuck it in reverse, and then you have people coming at you from the left and the right, and people standing in spots to wait for someone to circle back around. People hopping.
Have you ever played the battle mode on Mario Kart?
No.
Okay, so you're in this arena. It's not a race, but you're in this arena, and you're basically battling each other.
That's what it was.
It was the Mario Kart battle mode at the Orlando, the premium outlets on International Drive.
I just wish I had the little shells to shoot out of my car.
Get
the fuck away from me. That's my spot.
It was horrible. And then we tried to use this new reserved pay for parking thing, which didn't really work. No, didn't really. It didn't work at all. When we downloaded the app, we both downloaded it to our phones. And when we're trying to input our credit card information, both of our cards, separate devices, separate cards, it would not accept the expiration date, and it wouldn't let us move forward to reserve a spot.
And then I tried a different card, and it let me go through.
Oh, did it?
Yes, but then it was telling me that the section that I picked was full.
Yeah, which there was like 3 or 4 open spots.
There were 3 open spots.
But anyway, what's the app name?
So it's like a little thing where you...
What's the app name so we can...
You pull... Like, the spot is protected by, like, a little thing.
A barrier.
And once you get... once you pull up to the spot, it lowers. It's called My Park.
So, My Park, this is a shout-out to you to fix your app. It's not working. And for the Orlando Premium Outlet on International Drive, why have you not built a parking garage?
There's so much space. We did realize that in 2 seconds, out of nowhere, a
Bahama
gas
Breeze
station and a Bahama Breeze just sprouted from the earth.
And across the street from the international location, there's a bunch of other stuff going up.
Yeah, it looks like they're building a shopping.
But no parking
Starbucks.
garage.
They need to build a parking garage
for sure. But so this is like the pro tip, which we've talked about before.
I'll give this app another chance. On the fact that it maybe, I don't know, some fuckery was going on, but like now that I opened it up, it's showing me like all the, using my location, it's showing me all the places near, which where we're at right now, the outlets are less than a half mile from us, and it's telling me there's 12 spaces available. So basically I could click into it, I could click the section that I want, it'll tell you like Section A, Entrance by Nike, and it says 5 spaces available. Park now within the next 15 minutes. So you can make a reservation within 15 minutes. But
I mean the concept
we can try
is cool.
It again, but
the concept is cool. But once again, pro tip, go to the outlets either right when they open
or when they're about to close.
Or an hour and a half to 2 hours before they close, and know what stores you want to go to. Because if you do the experience like that, you'll fly through your shopping. Because there's no people at those times. But anyway, that was just, I don't know. Something has to be done about that because there must be accidents.
On a Segway who was going around and tagging cars to be towed because people just pull up
wherever they think.
Wherever the car can fit, they just pull up. Like on the end where the tree is. Like
right.
The end piece of the lane. And then we also saw a Mercedes parked next to the dumpsters. Like, so if the garbage truck did come, he wouldn't be able to access the dumpster.
Right.
So who parks there? Like, what kind of sale is so good that you just have to, like, abandon your Mercedes and run in?
Well, I can say none.
None to me.
None. Anyway, so we made the mistake. I've never seen it so bad. Never seen it so quite like that.
I feel like it was, like, holiday season already.
It's
like a preview of what's to come.
It was crazy. Anyway, so we did mention Orlando Flea. We went to Orlando Flea, like we said, 5-6 weeks ago, and I thought it was pretty cool. It was in the Celine, kind of like a venue. Celine is kind of like a venue where I think they might have concerts, and is it maybe a club?
Yeah, it looks like a club. There's like a stage. It's multi-leveled. There's a bar, several bars.
But this Orlando Flea is during the day, and they have.
Looks like we went around September, the end of September.
Yeah, they have different artists and what they call makers. So people that are in Orlando that are making products here. Yeah, crafters that are here.
Local businesses.
But it's not crafters as in your mom or your grandmother's crafts. It's artisans who are doing T-shirts and
macrame.
Yeah.
Soap. We saw a lot of soap. A plants booth where they were selling really beautiful plants, and I fell in love with the plant, and I should have bought it.
I sent you that link to that one Instagram account.
I messaged them, and the price they told me was a lot more than the price that it was that day that I saw it.
Gotcha. Stephanie wants a cactus called
it's like a shark tooth
cactus. Yeah.
But it's like in one of those baskets that you would hang, and then it basically
flows
has long,
over
flowy like tendrils that come down,
and they look kind of like shark tooth teeth.
Yeah. So maybe If I see it again, I'll buy it.
But Orlando Flea is put on by the Daily City, and it's happening again. So I think it seems like they're wanting to do this once a quarter.
It was pretty successful.
Yeah, there was.
It was very busy. We went it
right when it opened, and there was lots
packed.
of people. It was packed. I wouldn't want to see it later in the day as people are emerging on a Saturday because.
But they're claiming that they reworked the layout because it was a little cramped, and I think that there's definitely a lot of room for more people. I feel like the first one only had about 20 some vendors, maybe.
Right.
So they've definitely at least doubled in size.
So the next one's happening on Sunday, November 18th from 12 to 4 p.m. And there'll be 45 makers there. So 45 booths. They also have some food. I would say that they maybe had 5 food booths, if that, at
they
this
had all
last
the food
one.
on the upper level, which was like half the room.
Yeah.
Top. And they have a rooftop bar, but
they should have used that space.
Maybe they will now.
Hopefully they'll use that space because now
that's where they should put the food so they can put more vendors on top.
Now that the weather's nicer,
they
need to use the outdoor space.
Maybe have mimosa bar.
Definitely. And that is at Celine again on 22 South Magnolia Avenue. Definitely go check it out. It's definitely worth it. It's just kind of fun to go and see some local things. We've seen a lot of these people
I like it because
on Instagram.
We, always looking through our Instagram, and I'm seeing the products and seeing the stuff, and I want it. So there you can go and basically have it all in one spot if you want to make any purchases.
So let's talk about the Briarpatch, which I've now been maybe 3 or 4 times, and Steph, you've been a couple times now, twice. But the Briarpatch in Winter Park, I think, is great. And once I learned that it was open since 1980, it's kind of even more impressive that it's been around that long and sustained because,
it's hard in Orlando because things come and go, people come and go.
But, Winter Park is,
I guess.
kind of more of a established community. But it's really good. We went was it last weekend?
Yeah. Last weekend.
We went last weekend with Devi, and we got there by 10:30. I would say by 10:30, and we didn't have to wait too much. The thing with Briarpatch is that you are going to wait generally in a line. But Briarpatch is really known as a brunch spot, I would say, and they have a great
never had
menu.
Anything here we didn't like.
Yes.
Usually something always bums us out when we go out to eat. But this place, everything is on point.
Yeah, Briarpatch is really good. Really good. I had the corned beef, potato, and hash Benedict this last time that I was here, and it was very good. I couldn't eat it all either because the portion was so big.
Very big.
I couldn't eat all the potatoes. It was very good. And then we got a brioche cinnamon roll type thing.
Walnut cinnamon. It was very good.
It was really good, and their coffee was good too.
And then I got chocolate chip pancakes, and they were delicious.
Yeah, their pancakes there, I think they're what I expect when I'm craving a pancake.
They're soft and fluffy, but not too fluffy.
Yeah,
they're not hard on the edges. I don't like when pancakes are crispy on the edge.
See, I like them a little crispy on the edge as long as the inside is still fluffy.
And I love chocolate chip pancakes, but sometimes it can be too much.
Mm-hmm.
But they just basically it's a regular pancake, and they just sprinkle
on
a
top.
little bit of chips on top.
Which is sometimes you've ordered that at other places. Haven't you? You asked them to leave out the chocolate chips and put the chocolate chips on top, so that it's
too much.
The chocolate chips aren't in the batter.
So it's a good mix of chocolate to batter ratio.
Yeah. So the pro tip here is I would say go early if you're going, for brunch. They don't do reservations. But if you're going for brunch, go, get there by 10 o'clock and you're not going to wait too long. Because we got there about 10:15, 10:30 and we waited maybe 10 minutes.
As we were finishing our meal, the
line was definitely long. So by the time we left at about 11:30, the line was getting quite long. But always good service, I would say. Definitely worth checking out Briarpatch for a nice leisurely morning in Winter Park.
What did Dev have? I can't remember. She had some eggs.
I don't remember either.
Eggs. Oh, I got bacon too, and I always
Their
ask
bacon was
to get
perfect.
bacon like burnt. I like mine really crispy, and generally nobody ever does it. Like I always have to either send it back or just deal with it. But they burned that bacon, and it was delicious.
Yeah, I had some of that bacon, and it was really good. It was
Makes me want
burned.
bacon now.
So we were invited this past week. We were invited to the Golden Pod to go try out the Golden Pod, and the Golden Pod is basically, they're calling themselves kind of like a chocolate restaurant, and they are a spin-off of a restaurant chain in Australia that started in Australia. So they are a spin-off of the Chocolate
I think
Room.
He explained to us this is the first they've brought it to the U.S.
Correct. And for some reason, they couldn't use the name The Chocolate Room. I'm guessing there's some kind of trademarking issue in the U.S., maybe, that prevented them from using the name The Chocolate Room. But I'm not really 100% sure on that. But they're using the name The Golden Pod. And so we didn't go in with too much expectation. But what I will say is, I thought that the food was really good and the presentation was really good, and the food looked good when it came to the table, and it tasted really good as well.
Yeah. I'm really sad that this isn't such a bad location, because this is amazing. Like, this could be awesome if it was in a better spot.
So the location, if those familiar with the International Drive area and attractions, it's on International Drive, just north of Sand Lake. It is right next to where
there used to be a Tilted
Kilt.
So it's kind of in the same building, and it's like nestled on the side. So from the street, you can't really see it. Like, if I wouldn't have been following the GPS, I would have passed it because I didn't know that was there.
So right now, as it stands, look, if you're going to go there in the next probably few weeks, you could look for the Tilted Kilt sign, and that's where you want to go, because I missed like you, Steph, I missed the turn-in for it. I would also say, Golden Pod, that your signage is not the best, and so it's hard to recognize you from the street. Because you're close to the street, but it's hard when you're driving, and there's, in that part of International Drive, there's so many signs that are cluttering your view, that it's hard to. What I will say, though, about the location is that there's plenty of parking, and all the parking is in the back, and there's plenty of parking. You're not going to have a problem parking here.
The problem, though, is like all their paraphernalia, like the menu and the website. Their color scheme is gold and brown. Right. But for some reason, their sign is red and white. Yeah,
they chose a red sign. And I was kind of looking for that gold and brown.
Like, the sign near the road needs to be decadent like this. Gold and a big...
We're looking at the menu that we brought home.
Like the little pod emblem needs to be big with a really pretty gold and a brown.
Well, I think the aesthetic of the logo is really nice. Yeah. And I thought the
it gives you the feeling that it's something decadent, like something nice.
Exactly. I wish we would have tried some of their chocolate, because we didn't try any of the chocolate. We just ate the. We just ate the.
I was full.
Well, you had sweets. I didn't have sweets, but I wish I should have tried some of the chocolate. But the inside is really nicely done. It's kind of like a it's like a modern diner-esque
kind of
feeling.
Cheesecake Factory-ish.
A little bit.
A little bit.
But a little bit more refined.
Yeah.
Than Cheesecake Factory.
A little more contemporary, less...
Like a little bit more now. Yeah. And we'll definitely post some pictures on our Instagram, so make sure you head over to Orlando Out of Context to check out the pictures that we post this week from the Golden Pod. But our server was Karina, and she was a sweetheart.
She was so sweet.
She was very attentive, yes. And she's from Venezuela, and she was a sweetheart. So I told her that we'd give her a shout out, so we're shouting out to Karina. So, and then we let's talk about what we ate. So I had the Aussie Mate burger, which was a beef patty, caramelized onions, grilled bacon, an egg, American cheese, lettuce, tomato, beetroot on a sesame bun, which I don't really care for beet, but I left the beet on, and it was good.
Could you taste it?
A little bit. To me, a beet has a little bit of like kind of a earthy a little bit of an earthy flavor. It wasn't overpowering, and I thought the burger it looked good and it tasted good. And then it came with, and this is pro tip for the Golden Pod, it came with like garlic mayonnaise for the fries. And they kind of drizzled some on the presentation, but then we asked for like a little side of it.
It was good. And
Karina brought over a little side of it, and that stuff was really good. The fries were good. I wouldn't say that they're like through the roof amazing.
Different fries.
Different cut fries.
Like they were some thicker ones. I prefer like the thicker one.
These were a little bit thinner. They weren't steak fries like the thin ones, but they were thinner. But they were good. They weren't bad at all. But the freaking sauce, the garlic mayonnaise sauce.
I don't even like really mayonnaise. And I was eating all of that.
It was really good. And then Steph, what did you have?
I had a waffle with raspberry compote, melted milk chocolate, coconut flakes, and coconut ice cream. And I know that sounds like a whole lot going on. So originally I ordered this because I was thinking like, oh, I won't eat it all because I don't usually order stuff like that. Stuff that's like so much fruit and stuff drizzled all over it, whipped cream. Like it's just too much. I don't like all that going on. So I was like, but it looks good. So let me order it. I'll eat like a little bit of it. That way I'll still have room for our next meal. But I had to eat the whole thing. It was so good.
Well, and it
wasn't overpowering.
Everything, all those condiments were all on the side. They were on the side.
Milk chocolate and the ice cream was on the side. And it was not even a full scoop.
No, it wasn't
cream.
A full scoop.
It was
of
like,
ice cream.
those little cups that you use when you're like a dip cup, basically.
But it was a perfect amount, I think.
But yeah, it was and it was so good.
I tried it, and it was really good.
That ice cream, that coconut ice cream was like, whoa.
Yeah.
It's real good.
It was really
good. So like a little bit of, cut it, put a little bit of the compote, a little bit of the ice cream on each bite, and it was delicious. I didn't really use the chocolate because I didn't want to go crazy.
I should have tried the chocolate, but I
tasted it. It was good.
Yeah.
It was rich. It didn't taste like cheap chocolate, but it was real good.
I think that for me, and I told the chef this, a lot of times you get this thing delivered to your plate or to your table, and it looks so beautiful, but then the taste is like, because we went to a place recently where I thought, that it's a new place, and I thought, it's going to be nice because the picture looks so beautiful, and then the taste is just meh. But here, no, the taste matched what it looked like in front of you. It was a beautiful presentation on both the hamburger presentation and then the waffle presentation.
Definitely check out the pics because they're really beautiful. So this week we're gonna post pictures of our food on the IG.
But we met the executive chef, Eduardo Sotomayor, and Eduardo was very nice. It was great to meet him.
Yeah, he was nice.
He's worked several restaurants throughout Central Florida, and he is Peruvian. He's from Peru. I would definitely say that he's doing a good job from what we tried.
Yeah.
And I would be kind of interested to if he does move on somewhere else after the Golden Pod, kind of see, okay, where does he go? Because it's not anything revolutionary necessarily, but it's good flavors. It's very good flavors, and they do have a kangaroo pizza. I
kind of wanted to try it, but I didn't want to
commit.
I didn't want to commit because all they had was a kangaroo pizza.
Right.
So I made the suggestion to Eduardo that we have like a little appetizer, like a little kangaroo appetizer. He wasn't really digging it, but that's just my 2 cents. Because I want to try it, but I don't want to commit. So I guess they want you to commit.
Yeah. I was kind of like, you think of kangaroo, and the way that we think of kangaroo here in the U.S. is that
there's like 2 in existence.
Yeah, it's kangaroo, but
with babies in their pouches.
But that's not how it is. That's not how it is. So I guess they eat. To my friends in Australia, do you guys eat kangaroo on the regular? Is that something that's on the menu a lot? Let us know. Send us a DM or comment on one of our pictures about kangaroos, because I just still think it's a little odd.
I don't care. I mean, I'm down to eat it.
You're down to eat the kangaroo?
I mean, it's like cow. We eat cows and chickens. It's just the same.
I'm surprised it didn't have a kangaroo like hamburger, because he said it had like kind of the flavor of, did he say buffalo?
Yes.
That it would be
It sounds
closest
gamey.
to. Yeah, so it's a little gamey.
Because I was asking him, because when I went to, what's the burger place in the same strip that we went to Steak on Fire? The Whiskey.
The Whiskey, yeah.
When I went to the Whiskey, they have a camel burger.
Oh yeah, you told me
and
that.
Again, I wanted to try it, but I don't want to commit to a whole burger.
Which pro tip?
So,
Shout out to the Whiskey. We need to do. We need to go there soon and then talk about them because Whiskey is bomb too.
yeah.
It's a good place. Yeah. So I really like the Golden Pod. I hope that they can survive their location because, to be honest, the location is not that good, and it's not because there's not parking. There's definitely parking. So please
It's
make
just
sure
the visibility of it.
Yeah,
honestly, and the area that it's in is very, very touristy.
Yeah, go taste their food.
Oh,
I
we
think
forgot
the food
to
is
talk
good.
about the coffee.
Oh yeah, the coffee. So I had kind of overheard when we got into the restaurant that, because I think that Carino was talking to the next table about putting the image on the coffee, that they could customize the coffee. And so then I was like, I think I want to do that. And they had a sign over on the wall.
They can put it on your beer too.
So that they could put it on their coffee or your beer. So basically I ordered a cappuccino and she gave me this little website with a number, and I submitted our logo to this website, and then she confirmed that she received it, and then basically they print or picture a logo on the coffee, the foam of your coffee. And so when she brought it to the table, the Orlando Out of Context logo was right there, and that was really cool. So definitely kind of kind of
And they told us something about the coffee being special, like it's like a specialty coffee.
Yeah,
I didn't drink
catch.
coffee, and I don't know anything about coffee, so I can't really speak.
It was
that,
good coffee.
but
It was good coffee, and it was kind of like a corny little kitschy type thing to have an image printed on, but it was fun. It was fun to see the logo printed on the coffee. Of course, we took pictures. But definitely try out the Golden Pod. Yeah, definitely go. You're not going to have a problem parking. It's just the location. Hopefully it can survive its location, because that part of iDrive is, it's not as close to the convention center, so they're not as
we went
visible.
during the day, but their menu here says they're a hookah lounge too, and they're open until 2 a.m.
Oh,
so
wow.
Maybe the night scene here is a little different.
Yeah. But definitely check out the Golden Pod when you're in the attractions area for sure. So then, like we said, we took a little break in between the two restaurants. We did a little bit of shopping.
Real life Mario Kart.
And then we headed later in the day. We headed to Steak on Fire, which is a Brazilian steakhouse on bread, is what their tagline is.
So I read the little story on their website, and basically it says that two, I think, brothers, they came to the U.S., and they kind of had their traditions of, like grilling and stuff on the weekends and watching soccer, which is, I guess, football in Brazil. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
But then, they started having American friends, and, Americans, we want to watch football and eat burgers. And they wanted to watch soccer and eat steak. So they merged the two together, putting steaks on bread. And
this place is
that's how it came about.
My prediction for this place is that it's going to blow up. And I think that it's going to be a chain. And I think they're going to grow really quickly. And it was really good. The flavor was really good. It was really on point. And I'm kind of excited for them because I think that they have something here.
I can't wait to go back there.
I'm definitely
and
going
eat
back
again when I'm less full. Even though I ate every last drop of food they gave us, it was so stuffed.
And we were supposed to record after
we were in
the
coma,
evening.
Like,
I was good. I was just
good,
fine because at the Golden Pod, I didn't eat all of the bread, my bun on the hamburger. I was definitely like kind of saving and regulating for Steak on Fire, but I ate everything at Steak on Fire because it was real. No, you weren't bad. You just did what you had to do.
That much in one day in years.
But Steak on Fire, I would have to say that the food is fresh. It tastes fresh. It tastes not processed, and it's good.
I had grilled shrimp with seasoned roasted potatoes.
And then it comes with grilled veggies, but you got a substitute, right?
I substituted the grilled corn.
And how was the corn? Because I don't think I really talked to you about that.
How was good, but it was very salty. It was a little too much salt. Next time I would probably try to wipe some of the salt.
Or maybe just tell them, hold off on the salt.
The salt's good. It's just a little too much. But it was maybe like 7 pieces of shrimp on skewers. It was so good. It was seasoned just right.
And I forgot to grab the price of yours, but I also have to say for Steak on Fire that their prices are extremely, extremely reasonable. Yeah, I think they're very fair. Yeah. For the quality of food, extremely reasonable. The way it's set up, to kind of get into that, is you order at the counter, and then you find a seat once you've ordered, and then they bring the food to your table. Then I had...
And it kind of took a while, so I know that's how...
Yeah.
Not a long time as in, oh gosh, it's taking forever, but long enough to let you know that they're making the food. It's not like they made to order.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they were definitely making it fresh, making it as the orders came in. So then I had the ribeye on bread, which is, basically a ribeye sandwich, and it had grilled onions on it, and I think it had grilled bell pepper as well.
And cheese. I think it had cheese on it.
Yeah, so it's served on ciabatta bread with grilled onions and grilled red peppers. I don't know, it didn't have cheese, but it did have chimichurri sauce, which that chimichurri sauce was awesome.
Was that what I had with my shrimp? There was some kind of sauce with my shrimp, too. It was like a lime aioli.
Yeah, it was like an aioli, like a lime garlic aioli type sauce. It was... Your sauce on that was good. But my sandwich was excellent. The steak was definitely fresh, and it just tasted really good. And then the side that I chose was the golden cheese bites with sweet and spicy jam. So in Brazil, when you're going to like a barbecue in Brazil, they generally grill cheese, and it's not the cheese.
It has a different texture.
I wish I had the proper name for the type of cheese it is, because I can't really describe it to you. But it's not a cheese that's like melting through the...
It's very hard.
It's not going to melt through the grill.
And drip.
And drip. It they sear it.
It's like little blocks, and then it has like sear marks on it.
And in Brazil, a lot of times they put it on a stick, and they grill it on the stick, like a kebab stick. And then you eat it from there.
And the sweet and spicy jam, I thought it was going to be better, but to me it didn't really have a taste.
I wish it was
wasn't using enough.
I think it needed a little bit more of that spicy. It wasn't quite spicy enough, but the cheese bites were good. It was like it being in Brazil, eating the cheese,
they didn't have
grilled cheese.
The pop that you wanted, though.
They didn't have guaraná, which I think that he should put guaraná, because he has...
I think that would be kind of kitschy, like cool.
I think it would. I think, and what
We've
I would...
been to restaurant. They have it at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, they have guaraná. No, they have it at Magic Kingdom at that restaurant. The restaurant in Adventureland. You're the one who told me they have guaraná there.
Yes. Not at Animal Kingdom. Yes, they have it at the Adventureland restaurant.
So the Adventureland, the newer
I wonder
Adventure...
why they have it there.
Because it's a fusion restaurant, and they say Brazil is part of that fusion. Oh. That's why they have it. But I think that Bruno and his brother's name, what's his brother? Let me open up and see what is Bruno. Andre. Bruno and Andre, I think that you should put guaraná on the menu, because it says Brazilian Steakhouse, and then that should be a staple at when you go across the country with this, because you will go across the country with this.
That'll bring the Brazilians in once they all telling each other. They set out
the guaraná, just the guaraná.
And they sent out the Brazilian call.
FYI, just to all the Brazilians who are listening, I don't know what hootie hoo means. Stephanie made this up.
It's something It's like, the call to your people, like, hootie hoo, they got the pop, they got the guaraná.
I do appreciate that you say guaraná pretty well.
My Portuguese is very refined. Just to let everybody know, it's been pretty good.
But I think that having guaraná would kind of be a nice thing to have on the menu, because it's not blatantly Brazilian, but having that guaraná kind of It would be nice. I like guanana, so I want the guanana. So
It's a little detail that's cute.
I think, Bruno, that you should put guanana on the menu.
And Bruno was really nice. I really appreciate that as a business owner, you are firm and you are knowledgeable about your product, and you welcomed us and explained everything.
This is another reason why I know this business is going to be successful, is because Bruno was the one at the cashier. Bruno is putting in the time before it blows up, because it will blow up, and I think it is already getting quite popular, because there was quite a few people in there, and there was people coming in the whole time that we were there.
Yeah.
It wasn't crazy busy, but it was a steady flow of people. Everyone go to Steak on Fire. I think that they're going to be successful. It's in Dr. Phillips on Sand Lake.
Right off Sand Lake, in the heart of the.
Definitely go. I definitely think that this is going to turn into a franchise, or maybe if they decide not to be a franchise, they're gonna open multiple locations. The brand.
Maybe we should buy the first one.
I mean, it's good. It's really good. The branding is really good. If you're looking to purchase a franchise, Steak on Fire is it. I like the name too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really good. Highly recommend heading over to Steak on Fire. And the prices, like my sandwich, the ribeye sandwich.
They do catering too.
The ribeye sandwich, it was $11.45. The flank steak sandwich is $8.95. Filet mignon. I said that horribly. The filet
mignon.
However
you should know. You just came back from Paris.
Oh Lord. Is $12. The sausage sandwich is $8. I mean, the prices are really good, and their plates don't go above $15. So prices are definitely on point. Head over there, and check them out. But we had a good week of eats. Well, a good day.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like that should have been a week's worth of eating.
But yeah, check out Steak on Fire on Instagram. Their Instagram is at Steak on Fire. Go check out the Golden Pod on Instagram. It's at the Golden Pod. And then check out Briarpatch on Facebook, or excuse me, on Instagram at Briarpatch Restaurant. Though they don't really update. They haven't updated since last year. They need to hire somebody to do their Instagram.
Probably,
they don't need to.
Don't want to because they don't.
They don't need any. They don't need to be busier than they already are. So, but thank you guys for hanging out with us this week, and until next time, make sure that you go and follow us on Instagram at Orlando Out of Context. Visit us.
5 stars.
Visit us at OrlandoOutOfContext.com, and then listen and subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play. And yes, Stephanie wants you to give us a 5-star review on iTunes.
5 stars.
So, until next time, bye.
Bye. Oh, are we waiting for me?
Yeah. You're not ready. And I think your phone is still on.
Yes, teacher. For fuck's sake.